Hi friends, so today and next week we are going to dig in deep and talk about something called possessive nouns. Now, noun is a familiar word. Right away you should be able to tell me what a noun is. But the word possessive might be something you have not heard of before. So in a minute, we will do a little PowerPoint with some fun sound effects to dig in deeper to possessive nouns. You want to make sure also that you have this worksheet either pulled up, because we can just write on a piece of notebook paper today, or if you'd like to print it out, you may do that, okay? So I am going to share my screen with you and pull up this PowerPoint. What is a possessive noun? Let's see. All right, well, like I said before, you should know what a noun is. That should be something very familiar to us. A noun is a part of speech that describes a person, a place, a thing. Sometimes we say animal or an idea, okay? But what's a possessive noun? A possessive noun is a noun that owns something else in the sentence. So let's look at this example. The airplane's engine was loud. The airplane owns the engine, right? So look what we did here. To show ownership, we added an apostrophe. An apostrophe is kind of like that comma, but it goes up in the air. I like to put my hand on my hip. I like to put my apostrophe in the air. And I know when I'm making a possessive, I add an apostrophe S. Okay, show me. So when we are showing a possessive noun, we're showing that a noun owns something, just like the airplane owns the engine. We add a what? An apostrophe S. All right, let's see if this airplane's engine's loud. You tell me. Can you hear it? I'd say it's pretty loud. All right, so can you make this sentence possessive? Miguel owns that car. All right, well, who owns the car? Miguel, right? So what are we going to want to add to show that Miguel owns the car? You should be already adding that apostrophe. Ready? An apostrophe S. Oh, there's his car. That is Miguel apostrophe S's car. Ooh, I don't think Miguel's a very good driver. All right, so remember, when there is use of a possessive, the question who owns it can be asked and answered. So who owned the car? Miguel owns the car, right? Who owned the engine? The airplane owned the engine. So which answer best fits in the blank? The blank bicycle is broken. Well, who owns the broken bicycle? Seth owns the broken bicycle. So which one, A, B, C, or D, shows possessive? Remember what we talked about, apostrophe S. Which one would it be? Have that answer in your head and let's see if we are right. D, with the apostrophe S. Who owns the bike? Seth owns the bike. All right, so think about this too, because this is also important. Do not confuse possessive words with plural words, okay? So here's our possessive word right here. We know possessive words show ownership. The Blacks, apostrophe S, says dollhouse is small. We can ask, who owns the dollhouse? We can answer it. The Blacks own the dollhouse, right? But a plural word shows more than one, and it just ends with an S. Those girls are friendly, okay? So don't get confused with plural and possessive. We know possessive has the apostrophe, then the S. The plural has just an S, okay? All right, let's practice a couple more. So actually, let's stop and think about this one. Is this one going to be a possessive or a plural? I want you to practice one and see. The trash can will attract a lot of what? Flies, right? Here's one of the flies. If you leave the lid open. Okay, well, can we answer the question? Who owns the trash can? No. So we know we're not going to add an apostrophe S, right? And if it's more than one fly, we're going to add an S. But sometimes we actually have to change the spelling. We have to change the Y to an I and add ES. And here's all these flies. Okay? So I don't expect you to remember all of this today. We're going to practice, but this is an example not of the possessive. This was an example of the plural, okay? But we don't really need to worry about that anymore. We're just going to keep practicing with our possessive nouns. All right, so the blank skin is red. Whose skin is red? The tomato's skin is red, right? Who owns the skin? The tomato. So what do we add? Apostrophe S. So A, B, C, or D have the answer in your head. Let's see if you're right. B, if you got it right. Whoop, whoop. All right. Which answer best fits in the blank? Kendra has two hamsters named Fuzzy and Furry. Right here, I just want to point out hamsters. It has an S. It doesn't have an apostrophe S. That means it's a plural. More than one hamster, right? They have two. But then they say they're talking about the blank cage looks like a tiny house. Okay, well, there's two that have an apostrophe. A and C. Which one do you think it would be? If we're talking about two hamsters, we already have to have the S. So where do you think we might have to put the apostrophe on this one? It's in between A and C. Which one do you think would show the plural and the possessive? All right, let's see if you're right. Oh, she loves her hamsters. When it's talking about a plural and a possessive, we have to put the apostrophe at the end. Okay, last one. Billy will carry his blank suitcase. I'm sorry, I thought it was going to have a sound effect. It would be his sister's, just one sister. So where would we add the apostrophe? In between or after sister? You should have picked apostrophe S. Oh. All right, one more. I borrowed blank sweater. Who owns the sweater? Jane owns the sweater. Where are we going to add the apostrophe? A or D? What do you think? Pick your answer. Think it in your head. A. I am Jane and this is my sweater. Nice sweater, Jane. All right, guys. So that is a little bit about possessive nouns, okay? So let's go ahead and make sure we have our worksheet pulled up or printed out. Okay, and you know I always have to share it 2 times. And let's do some practicing, okay? All right, so we always want to ask who owns something. Then we add our apostrophe S and show what they own. So we don't need to cut this out. We can just go ahead and answer those questions and show the possessive. All right, so let's look at our first sentence. The kite belonging to the boy. All right, well, who owns it? The boy, all right? What do we add to show that he owns it? An apostrophe S. And what does the boy own? Well, he owns the kite. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more together, and then I'm sending you off to do the last 3 on your own. Okay, the toys belonging to the baby. All right, well, ask yourself the question, who owns something? The baby, right? And then to show that the baby owns it, what do we add? An apostrophe S. And what does the baby own? The toy. Okay? All right, last one that we're going to do together. The nest belonging to the birds. What do we notice about birds? Birds is plural. Remember? Plural means more than one. But the birds also own something. So what are we going to do to show the plural and the possessive? So who owns something? The birds own it. Where are we going to put the apostrophe? Do you remember? You just put the apostrophe at the end. And then what did the birds own? The nest. Okay, guys? So you are going to do 1, 2, and 3. And you are going to post your answers. Don't forget to put the apostrophe in the correct spot. Okay, guys? All right. So that, my friends, is possessive nouns. We will practice more next week. I will talk to you later. Bye.